Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. My name is JC if you haven't seen my face before. Today's video is a June new releases reading vlog. There are so many books coming out this month and in July, and how am I supposed to select which ones to be reading for the new releases vlog? There are so many good ones coming out in the next 2 months. I'm gonna pick a handful of them to read this month. Today is June 1st, and today Just Some Stupid Love Story came out. I actually got this as an ARC a couple weeks ago, but I wasn't able to get to it, so I figured today's the perfect day to start it. So let's go outside and do some reading.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by, it doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow.
Okay, I just want to hop on and give my very initial thoughts. I'm only 10 or so pages into this, but I really like how it's starting out. I really like this author, Caitlin Doyle. I haven't read anything by her before. I don't know. Yeah, this is not, oh wait. This is her debut rom-com. So, she hasn't written a rom-com before, but I don't think this is her debut completely novel. I just really like her writing. It's just so, easy, bingeable, addictive. It's just fun. So I'm very excited to continue on with it, but I just had to jump on and say that because I hadn't read anything by her before, and this is just fun. In the beginning, having a great time. I love the concept that I've gotten so far. The back, it says, "You've just found a new story to love. A rom-com writer who doesn't believe in love, a divorce lawyer who does, and a bet between these exes to prove who's right." And now, just in the first few pages, these two characters are these exes are meeting up again. I wouldn't say rekindling at this point, but they are at their 15-year high school reunion. I love it. And it's duo POV, which we love even more. So I'm going to continue on with this, but I had to give my initial thoughts.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by, it doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow.
Hey guys, it's another day and we're continuing on with Just a Stupid Love Story. It's whoa. The premise is you have these high school exes, right? But it literally says it in the synopsis that the premise is they have their reunion, they hook up, and then they make this bet that who can predict the fate of these 5 old couples from high school in 5 years, but the 5th couple is them. I don't know what they win. I forgot what the bet win is, but it's weird because she's we're done, pretty much heartbreak over, and he's I have 5 years to prove you wrong, and I'm that's the premise of the book. It's gonna be so good. I don't know if it's gonna be 5-star, but I'm really liking that he is this golden retriever. He is just so bubbles and rainbows and sunshines, but he's a divorce lawyer pretty much, and then she's a cynic and she writes rom-coms for a living. Oh, the irony. Okay, I just wanted to hop on and give a quick little update because I'm 50% of the way through Just Some Stupid Love Story. I'm really liking it, but I'm not obsessing over it. But it's just a fun story, so I'm definitely continuing it. But I think it's not giving 5-star feeling, but it is still giving 4-star. There's just some cringy moments, and I'm okay, I accept this, but let's move on. And then there's really cute moments. So we're continuing on with this. I hope to finish this weekend. It's currently Saturday, so hope to read another good chunk today and then hopefully finish it up tomorrow. Okay, I don't know the last time I updated this vlog, but it's definitely been several days since I picked up this book. I think you and I last talked when I was a little over halfway, and now I'm 90% of the way done with it. I only have this small chunk left. I'm on part 8, the final part of this book. I am feeling all the feels and having all of the thoughts. I think what is so interesting about this experience for me is there are characteristics of Molly that I relate to, not necessarily like the origin of what's really causing her issues. Like, they're not like abandonment issues, but she definitely has these like self-sabotaging thoughts, especially related to relationships. And I am seeing her actions of that and like her thought process of that. And I'm like, I relate to that. Like, I've experienced that. And it's interesting to have that relatability, but also frustration with her. Cause I'm like, girl, we got to get through this. But I'm like, is that like hypocritical? So it's an interesting thought process to have, like the frustration along with the relatability. But I'm like annoyed in this moment after this certain like scene that happened. I'm just like, Molly. And then I just like love Seth so much. Like, I just adore Seth. And so I'm obviously like, I'm very excited to see like how this ends. But I'm also like, okay, what am I really rooting for? Like, what am I rooting for? Well, like, I know what I'm rooting for. Like, I'm too much of a romantic. But, it's just Molly. And then, like, Seth. And I'm like, okay, let's finish this book.
I'm looking up from my window. Sun's coming up like the day before. You're like a stone on my pillow. I don't make a sound when I shut the door. You don't.
Okay, we finished it. Oh my gosh. I had such a great time. I mean, you can imagine, this is a book where the main female character is a rom-com screenplay writer, and the main male character is a divorce lawyer. He's the romantic one. She hates love. Like, you can only imagine, like, the kind of cheesy moments in this at times, and, like, that rom-com-y feel, and, like, the ending of it, like, you can envision that. And that's what I was here for. I had such a great time reading this. I don't know what I want to rate it. I feel like I'll just rate all the books at the end when I actually like have time to process it. But lovely time. Definitely recommend. Okay, I'm ready to pick up our next book. It's beautiful weather outside, so I want to go lay by the pool. And we're going to get started on Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. Oh my gosh, the bookmark for this that I'm going to use. So cute. It's from Blush Bookstore. Like, are you joking? Are you joking? Stunning. Okay, let's get started. Okay, it's been a while, but I realized I never touched base with you guys after I got back from the pool. I only read the first few chapters at the pool, so I'm on page like 40, I believe. 38, same difference. So this is just kind of my initial thoughts. Now, this is my fourth Ali Hazelwood book. I read The Love Hypothesis, which I gave 4 stars. Then I read, well, I tried to read Love on the Brain. I didn't like DNF it, as in like I won't go back to it, but I started it like late into the evening, no audiobook. So there was just these big sciencey biology words that I like couldn't comprehend. And I was like, this just isn't for me right now. I would love to go back to it. So then I read Love Theoretically, which is physics-based, which is the field I work in. So bias, 5 stars. I obsessed over that book. And then I read Bride, which was an experience. I think I gave that 3 or 3.5 stars. So that's been my Ali Hazelwood experience and like rating so far. Heading into this book, so I saw in the back, like before I headed into it, that it was going to be food science, and I'm like, I don't know if that's something I want to be reading about. So we'll see how much of that is really in this. Like, I don't know. There was enough in each of the other books I read, like the STEM ones, like where they did talk about like chemistry and physics. And so if that's here, I don't know how much I'm going to like that. And then as far as the characters so far, I don't really that just sounds harsh. I was gonna say I don't really care about them, but like it's just kind of true. Like I'm not really vibing with any of them. I don't connect with them, that's for sure. But I also just don't like care at this point. So I'm interested to see how this progresses because a lot of the 5-star reviews I've seen of people are like from people I typically like align with the rating. So I'm interested to see how even the next few chapters go and see like how I feel towards it at that point. Because right now between Eli and Rue, I'm like, okay. Like Eli's like sweet in their initial interaction, and she's like unapologetically herself. Like she's not rude to him. She's very like straightforward and like appreciative of that interaction, like how he handled everything. But I'm like I don't feel a chemistry between them at this point. So I'm just interested to see how this is going to progress. So I will probably update you guys next. I'll give you guys an update tomorrow after I read more. I don't know. My goal is to reach the 25% mark today, which is like another 10 or so percent. So if I get to that, then I'll update you guys in the morning and seeing how my thoughts have changed. If not, then I'll just update you guys whenever I update you guys. I have an update that I cannot believe I'm giving. I'm DNFing this at 40%. Yeah. So I was really struggling to get through this. Like I started the first couple chapters and I was like, okay, like I don't really care, but like it's only been 4 or 5 chapters. So then I continued on to chapter 10 and then I was just stuck there for like several days and I was like I just like don't care to pick it up. And so last night I was like, okay girl, like we have got to make it. I'm like 25% of the way through it, like make it to 50% today. And I was reading it and I was just like skimming. Like I didn't want to read a lot of it. I guess for me, the issue I had with this book is I felt nothing for our main characters. Like I didn't feel any chemistry between them, very insta love. And the main plot of it, like, what? Like, it just felt so out of pocket. I don't know how to like best describe it, but like the main plot of like his company kind of coming in and theoretically taking over her company and like that tension of like I can't be with you even in this intimate setting because like you're an enemy. But like I didn't really fully like I just didn't care. Like the author didn't make me care that this situation was even going on. The first like intimate scene I skimmed. I was like, I just don't even want to read this. And it was like, I don't know if it's secondhand embarrassment, but it was just like, I'm not feeling this. It wasn't like making me like, oh my god, like the main characters, you know, like. And I saw someone write a review of like, how am I supposed to be in love with this book if the main 2 characters aren't in love? And I think that's true. Like I think that's like what made me not really care for the book at that 40% mark, because I'm like, these 2 characters, like it's just very much I am so sexually attracted to this person, like both ways. And I'm like, okay. So then like when they would have conversations, like she was just so stale and like he was just like finding her attractive. Like she's like, you don't know me, and he's like, that's true. And I'm like, then why are we here? So I think for me, like this whole thing, like it has a note at the beginning. Hold on, let me like, so we know that I'm not saying anything like spoilery. Claims to be an erotic romance, but it's the romance part that still is falling flat for me. But they have a lot of trauma. Like in here it says the fallout from and like lists a few different like traumatic things. They're kind of just like trauma dumping on each other. And I'm just like, okay, I don't, yeah. Without divulging more than that about like specifics, like specific spoilery plot points. That's why I just can't continue this book. And I rarely DNF a book because I'm just like, I don't know, like I can just get through it, especially if I have an audiobook. I'm just like, it's fine. I just couldn't. Like I was like, okay, we're about to start the intimate scene, and like I paused the audiobook and was flipping through the pages until like I was done with it, and then I picked back up. So for me, like that's where I know like, oh girl. So today we are gonna start 1-star romance. I am very excited about this book. I've seen mixed reviews. I've seen some people be like, this just like wasn't for me, and I've seen some people be like 5 stars. So I'm excited to get into this one. I feel like the concept's cool. The fact that she has to be, I think, part of like a wedding party where the person she's like linked up with in a way, like in the wedding party, gave her book a 1-star review. So I feel like it's just like a fun idea. This is like the version this is like the version of the like thriller book that's a romance. There's a thriller book that is like an author becomes like obsessed with someone that gave a 1-star review and like stalks them and like all this stuff. This is like a romance version. Okay. Anyways, we're starting this today, and I will keep you up to date as I get through it. So probably first check-in point, a few chapters in, 25% of the way, I don't know. Okay, I just finished part 1, which is only about 35 or so pages, but I figured now would be a good time to hop on and give my initial thoughts. So I don't think we've talked about the synopsis of the book yet. So first things first, Natalie and Rob are 2 main characters. Their best friends are getting married, and Natalie and Rob are the like best man and maid of honor. And so on the back it talks about how right before the ceremony of the wedding, Natalie learns that Rob gave her new novel a 1-star review. Rob, seriously. Seriously. So our part 1 is 2 years prior when the couple got engaged, like the proposal, and those 2 met for the first time and just like had a few hours, you know, of conversation that night. And then now immediately flash forward 2 years, and I believe we're like getting into the wedding because like page 1 of that first part is like the wedding invitation. So I'm excited to see how like they are seeing each other 2 years later, because I definitely felt the chemistry of their conversations, and they're just very opposites, but like the chemistry's there. Like he's a very like rigid academic kind of guy, and she is a very like artistic, messy writer, and they just had a very smooth conversation. I feel like they were very like easy with each other. Like he was very straightforward with her, not in like a blunt, boring way, but like he was just like taking her for face value, you know, and not like projecting anything onto her, not like letting her talk bad about herself. And then like she was just very like comfortable with him. Like by him acting that way, she was just immediately like comfortable just like giving her opinion, talking with him longer than she probably would just like talk to someone she's first met. And so I definitely liked their first interaction, and I'm intrigued to see how things progress the first time they see each other 2 years later. Okay, I have another update because I just reached part 3, so now I'm about 108 pages into the book. Oh my gosh, you guys. This hair, I'm so sorry. It's really hard because I just want to talk about it, but I don't want to give spoilers. So, all I'll say is we had the wedding. The like main premise of the book, of like the fact that they're about to head into the wedding and she just learns that he gave her a novel a 1-star review. I'm so excited for this book. You guys are like, wait, what just happened? What did I miss? It's because I never read the full synopsis on the back. And so I just did. And so I was not confused, but I was like, oh, like that's kind of a short scene. So part 2, now only like 70 or so pages, is the wedding. And then we have the rest of the book. So then I'm like, it's because we follow these characters throughout the rest of their like 20s and 30s and then like reconnecting over time, like these different events that like pull them together. Like that's what we learn on the back. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I just want these people to kiss. These like arguments that they're having, these like heated discussions are so sexually charged. Like the underlying tone here, I'm like, I feel like you guys could just start making out now and probably be fine. I really like this. Like I love their interactions, and I feel like if you've read this, you're like, weird. But maybe not weird. I feel like maybe if you just like them, then you're like, no, I get it. Like I get it. It's not like quite this enemies to lovers, but there's this distaste towards the fact that he gave this book a 1-star review and he has his reasons for that. And so they don't necessarily like each other right now or love each other right now, you know, but I'm excited to continue this. I don't know if I'll get more reading done today just because I have other things I need to get done, but those first 100 pages were quite addictive and very easy to get through. Okay, I'm back with another update because I just finished part 3 where we had another reunion get-together, a milestone moment for their friends, and we had Rob and Natalie back again in the same place. Like, it is quite interesting to think about two people that are friends with a couple, so like they don't really know each other. Like, they aren't friends, but like they're always in the same places on these milestone moments for people, so they have constant like check-ins in a way. Like, oh, you see each other a year later and it's like, hello, hi, how are you? What's new? And I think like that concept is cool over time, and like what can happen in those little trips that can make things develop and like can make feelings deeper. And so this first trip after the wedding, we see that. It's also interesting thinking about people in their 20s. So at this point, I think she's in her late 20s, Natalie, and I'm going to be approaching that here soon, like in the next couple of years. So it's just interesting seeing a group of friends that like are all doing very different things, but like around the same age. Like I think a lot of people in their 20s experience that. We have the people that are single and just having fun, the ones that are like very career driven, the ones that are in this healthy relationship and they're having a kid, the one that's not in a healthy relationship. You know, we just have the whole group, and I think it's just very interesting to see that here. You know, we see a lot of that in Happy Place by Emily Henry, which I love. Like that's why I love that, like that nostalgia, and like that hits so hard with what's going on now. That's kind of a dose of what I'm feeling here. It's not like friendship oriented like Happy Place, but it's just that thought process of these group of people that all have different like things that they're doing in life and like goals that they're going after, different stages, but they're all around the same age. I like that part of this, and I like seeing that because this is around the age I am at this point in the book. I know it's going to continue on with like a year later, but I do like seeing that and like experiencing that then with my own friends and seeing my own like best friends from different stages of life, like how we're all around the same age, but we're all doing very different things. It's just so cool. So I'm liking our two main characters. Once again, having that interaction that's like, okay, like I don't want to say anything that's spoiler, so that's hard, but I did like them seeing each other again. I like the conversations, like the moments of like them two having to like address everything that happened at the wedding, the conversations that were had, but like also acknowledge in a way, like, or like even internally acknowledge, but I find this person attractive because the very first conversation I had with them, I was attracted towards them, and I love it. So I'm excited to see what the next part is gonna bring, because the way that ended, I was like, oof. Let's keep going. Okay, it's the next day and I just finished another part of One Star Romance, so I'm now on part 5. I really like these parts because it's like perfect update points, so I think there are 2 parts left. Oh my gosh, it's getting so good. I really like that we're getting these like small time jumps like a year later, a year and a half later. And so we have these people naturally, I don't know, progressing in life stages and like everyone kind of doing their own thing, but also everyone around them is growing up. Everyone around them is aging. So I really like our main 2 characters, Natalie and Rob, having these little moments of conversations with their parents and like the acknowledgement that like their parents are also aging. And I think people in their like 20s and 30s, at some point we recognize that, like the fact that I'm growing up, so like my mom's growing up too. Like my mom's also getting older, and I'm like, let's not talk about it. So I like that part of the book because it's just something that like I connect with like just thoughts that I have. And I like just the little glimpses we're getting of the side characters as well, and like everyone going through those life stages, and like being friends with someone at 23 is so different than being friends with someone at 28. Like if they're married and now with a kid, it's like, no, like you were best friends, but you didn't have anything else in your life besides each other. Well, you know, you can have other friends, but like when you're married with a kid, bit different. So it's interesting seeing that, and I just really like our main 2 characters, Rob and Natalie. Like there's small reconnecting moments at these events, these really life events between Gabby and Angus, like they're best friends, the one that started this whole battle, because I like seeing like they got married, so they met. They had a kid, so they met. Like the kid has like the baptizing type thing, like that was this last get together, and like it's just these life events that bring these 2 back together, and they have this connection with each other, but they don't, I don't know, life is just so hard sometimes. And so it's like they definitely have that chemistry, but it's a matter of thinking like what we want versus what we actually want. Like, oh, you know, like, no, I like this person because they are calm. This is going to be a steady relationship. But it's like you don't really have that like fiery passion about it, and it really is a blend of everything. Like you want to feel secure and safe and comforted by your partner, but there is this element that's like you just feel it. It's like that 5-star feeling. Like everyone seeking a partner in life is seeking that 5-star feeling, and it's interesting seeing that here where it's like, well, I have like this good relationship, like a steady relationship, like, but I don't feel that fieriness, you know, like as you go through your 20s, you're dating different people, and it's just, I think it's a good book. Like I'm really enjoying it, and I'm curious to see then like how these 2 characters are supposed to get my happy ending, because like just different life events. I'm like curious how the last 2 parts are gonna wind up together. Okay, I'm gonna continue this and I will update you after part 5. Okay, I was just sitting on the couch reading, and I have another update for you guys. This book is everything. This book is everything. I just read part 5, so I'm on the final part of this book. Things have gotten messy, but like things progressed so much. Just a lot happened in this last get together, and I'm like what? I have no idea what to expect in this last part. I like this because it's more than the romance. Like this romance of them having these moments throughout this time span of like seeing each other again and again at these events is a fun romance to read about, and like those little moments between them over the years. But ultimately, these two characters are growing over the last, I don't know, 5 to 8 years. I don't know how long. I haven't paid attention to how long this has really been, happening. But I guess I could see, huh? Part 1 is May of 2013, and now we are entering December of 2020. So 7-year time span. So much happens in your 20s. We talked about this kind of at the beginning of me reading this book, where when you're in your 20s, like, you're experiencing your friends getting into relationships and having a family. You're experiencing your just single friends that are devoted to their career, single friends that are devoted to just having fun, the friends that are having a rough go at it. Like, you're witnessing it all amongst different friends in your life, and I think it's interesting seeing that in these characters, and then also getting a glimpse into the friendships and getting a glimpse into like family and like parents and stuff, and how that like just changes as you grow as well in your relationships with them. Like, to me, this is more than a romance, and I do like that aspect of it. I always like it when like we get a little more, and this author, Laura Hankin, she's giving us a little more. So I am very excited to finish out this book. I think I'll finish it tonight, and then we'll talk in the morning about what I'm thinking. But I love this. Like, I'm just really having a good time. It's so addictive to read. These parts kind of just make it so easy. But like, well, I'll just read the next part. Like, I just want to finish up to this next part because we're just reading this like scene, this one long scene with multiple chapters, but it's like all about this one kind of topic, if you will, like this one get together. And so I feel like that makes it very bingeable, because you think, well, maybe I'll just read the next part, Okay, one part left. Let's see how this book ends. Besties, we did it. We did it. I finished 1-star romance. I really like this book. I think I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. Like, I enjoyed many aspects of this. Like, it's missing that 5-star feeling where like you just know, but 4.5 stars for sure, because I just liked all of the friendship, all of the family, all of the growth that happens in your 20s, early 30s. Like, just so much happens, and everyone's life is so drastically different during that time. And I feel like it was captured really well in here. It did go through, like, at the end, we did have, like, 2020 brought up, but it was not COVID heavy. It was kind of just, like, the acknowledgement, like, we're not going to pretend it didn't exist, but, like, it wasn't, like, majorly mentioned. And that is something that, like, listen, I just don't want to read about it in a book. Like, do not give me so much details about that in a book. But oh my gosh, I am so glad that I read this. Like, I definitely recommend it. Obviously, 4.5 stars, how do I not? But I just liked how it wrapped up. I liked following these two characters over the span of what I think it was like 8 years. And I like it because the final part is just a few pages, but it's like a version of an epilogue because of the way this book is structured. So we had like one part left, and then like the last technical, like, additional part, it was really like an epilogue. I don't know. I really like how this book was structured. I like the premise of it. I had a great time. I love that obviously it's not this insta-lovey thing where it's like someone's jumping in and then like you're just like in this full-fledged relationship and it's like things are happening so fast. It's like, no, this is people that have just been a part of each other's lives for so long. Yet there's so much to learn about each other, but they also know so much. I don't know. I just had a great time with this book. Okay, so I just want to round out the video with the books that we read. First book we read was Just Some Stupid Love Story. Originally, I don't know if I talked about it on here, but I gave it 4.25 stars. I think I'm going to retract it. I'm going to give that 3.75. I really enjoyed the book. I think I'm still gonna have to honestly think on that. It's either 3.75 or 4 stars. Like, I had a great time with it, but it's just like the more I sit on it, the more I think about the small details of it. I'm like, I don't know if I like really enjoyed it to that level. So, I mean, I recommend it. It's just as far as the rating goes. And then I attempted Not in Love, which we DNF'd at 40%. I do know that she's coming out with Deep End, I think in February. Guys, I don't think I'm going to read it. It's a college romance, I'm pretty sure. And yes, they're competitive athletes, but I just know that like college romances are not for me. And that's just kind of a bummer, but we'll see. I mean, I think it's going to be even spicier. And I didn't even probably get to the spicy parts of Not in Love. That's in the last like 60%. So I just don't know if that's going to be for me. And then we rounded it off with One Star Romance by Laura Hankin. And I'm definitely giving this 4.5 stars. I had such a great time. I did want to read a novel love story in this video. I just don't have the time for it because of different traveling. So I can't read it in time to edit this in time and get it up when I want. So unfortunately, I will just probably read it and give updates in like the weekly vlog or something. I did like buy the book and I want to read it ASAP. I just can't in time for this video. But I feel like it was a successful month. I feel like it was always nice to just read the new releases and like dedicate videos to talking about them more, like not direct, but like just giving them more spotlight and attention and like updating throughout the reading process. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I will definitely do one in July because there are so many books coming out in July, like some of my like most highly anticipated reads. So I'm so excited for next month, but I also really enjoyed the books that came out this month. Please let me know if you've read any of these or if you were influenced to now read any of these. With that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.